Howdy hi, Banjo Hangout buds. This is Craig Fralin Evans, and I've got a special deal to tell you about. Do you like looking and feel good as you play that great old-timey and bluegrass music? I do. And do you think you've got a keen eye for clothing styles of the 60s and 70s? That would be the 1860s and 70s? Then you're also going to get jazzed about this offer. Yesterday I drove down to Iowa to visit my mom. Now, rather than take my usual route through the cornfields and cow pastures of the center part of the great state of Iowa, I decided to take the prettier route along the Mississippi. And you know, John Hartford really knew what he was doing when he captained the Julia Bell Swain up and down that great river. Those little river towns are just way too much fun. Well, I stopped in one. It was a town called McGregor, and boy did I make a find. Now, to me, part of playing this great traditional Americana music of ours is really getting into the part. I mean, you can feel the happiness and the energy of some of the old-time tunes like Soldier's Joy or Fisher's Hornpipe, or newer ones like Cherokee Shuffle. Now, I've done a fair amount of research into these tunes and such, but I also noticed if I dress the part, folks that are listening seem to even get a more intense experience. Now, I think that's really cool. Okay, back to my story. On Main Street in McGregor, Iowa, I discovered the best place ever for Civil War and Victoriana clothing. It's called the River Junction Trading Company. The River Junction is owned and operated by Jeff Bakey, my new best friend, who helped me out yesterday, and I started out with shirts. The banded Festus shirt that I'm wearing is one of 3 that I bought. Now normally I wouldn't go nuts and buy that many fancy playing shirts, but you really got to check these shirts out. These shirts are stitched by hand by local folks. Now, they're not made by some soulless machine in China, and the material that's used in these is top drawer. It's also very, very generous. I mean, you got to check out the tails on these puppies. Even a long guy like me doesn't have to worry about his shirt coming out. So Jeff sells great shirts in several styles. This just happened to be one that tripped my trigger. But he also sells hand-sewn trousers, vests, top coats, and more, all period clothing. Now, if you liked Lawmaker or Scully, you're really going to like what Jeff is making. But now I get to tell you about my favorite accessory. Hats. Yep, Jeff's got a ton of them. But he also makes them up for you on the spot. Now, I happen to really like this Fort Gus Calvary. Not the Gus knockoff you saw Robert Duvall wear on Lonesome Dove, but this is the real Gus with the proper creases and the proper dents. Well, Jeff whipped this one up for me on the spot. So now I've got my official winter playing hat. But for you folks south of the Mason-Dixon line, don't fret. He's got plenty of Confederate gray kepis and slouches too. So if you've now stayed with me this far, I'm coming around to the best part of the deal. Jeff wants me to invite folks from Banjo Hangout to come and visit his online store. And that can be found at www.riverjunction.com. But more than that, he wants our business. So he told me to pass along this special offer available only to folks at Banjo Hangout. If you buy $75 worth of clothing at his site, and a typical hand-stitched shirt like this is about $45, he'll throw you in one of these. Now these are traditional, regulation-size bandanas. You got to check this out. This sucker's big. These aren't the $1 variety you get at if you go to Walmart. I mean, these suckers are big enough that if you want to do something special with them, you can. Jeff's got all sorts of ways to tie these suckers. I'm afraid I'm showing a little bit too much of my Midwest heritage here, but just take it from me. These things are big, they're generous, and they come with a couple of different styles and a couple of different colors. You got to tell them if you want a fancy one or a plain one. But most importantly, you got to ask for the deal when you're ordering. You got to tell Jeff you're from Banjo Hangout. And then, if you remind him, he'll throw in one more thing for your next order. Both Jeff and I are thinking you're going to like this clothing so much that when you make your next order, he'll give you $5 off for any purchase of $25 or more. So you got 2 things. You got a bandana on your first buy of $75, and you got $5 off on your second purchase of $25. But the best part is, this is really quality clothing. This store was such a cool find for me. I really hope you check it out. I'm still trying to defy the odds a little bit. For every bad purchase a customer has, he seems to tell 11 people. But for every good experience they have, they only tell 4. Well, I had such a good experience at River Junction Trading Company that I wanted to tell all my friends at Banjo Hangout about it, and that includes you. So stop by www.riverjunction.com, and if you buy, be sure and tell my friend Jeff that you're from Banjo Hangout. You know, you fiddle hangout friends, I'm sure he'd extend this offer to you too. So just tell him that Fralin sent you. I'll see you folks around the hangouts. And don't forget to ask for the Banjo Hangout special. Bye.